Hi, wrestling fans, and welcome to your big game Super Bowl edition of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. At least that's when we're recording. This is your Hall of Fame panel. I am Mad Matt Carter, being joined as always by Brian and Reagan Danzig and Commissioner Rick Diesel. How is everybody?
Uh, well, me and Reagan both tried to race to see who can get over the crud. The crud.
Yeah, I had flu A all week. So
Oh
we
my.
all did actually. Every single person in this house had flu A for a week.
What is flu
So
A?
the worst one you can have.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
one that was that's the flu that caused the outbreak in 1923 was flu A.
Is that like the one that you get where the only energy you got is to get up and pee and maybe eat a little something, and then you just have to go back to bed and keep sleeping?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I when I had to drive myself to the doctor for it, I thought I was going to die. So
Wow.
it was rough. Very rough.
I felt like crap, but I went to the doctor and tested negative for everything.
Tested negative. Okay. Well,
And I'm still choked up. So
yeah. Well, I was complaining to my doctor or nurse practitioner the other week when I was in there about, being bronchitis like symptoms and all that kind of stuff. Of course, I'm a smoker, so that kind of comes with the territory. But she was just saying, hey, it's that time of year. All you can really do is take some Mucinex and suck it up. And I'm gonna tell you what, man, Mucinex must work because it's the hardest to find cough syrup in this, at least in this town, that I've ever seen. So, but anyway, so we're all fighting a sickness. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and it really helps out the channel. And we've got two channels. Not only what you're watching us here on the Ringside Wrestling channel, AIWF Ringside Wrestling, the AIWF Network's our home base, and we have got a big got something big coming for the fans later today during Super Bowl halftime show. We're going to have a surprise, so if you're not interested in what's going on at the Superdome, go ahead and check us out at halftime. And if you're already subscribed, you'll get a notification.
um, also, just talking about the network, Matt, the very first episode of the AIWF Across the Globe show is now on the network.
AIWF Across the Globe. What is that?
It,
Tell
it
us about
it's
it.
it's the first AIWF actual world. It's, I guess, a national world. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. It covers the
Global.
AIWF global. Yeah, it's a global TV show. It's run like a TV show. There's a guy out of New York, I think it is, hosts it.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and he talks about the AIWF, everything going on. He shows matches from all over the world. Mid Atlantic has had one match, Ty Tyson and Ty Tyson's world title match from on an upcoming episode. It's on one of the episodes from the anniversary show last year.
Oh, okay.
And then another episode that's upcoming has highlights of the feud of the issues that started the Rick Diesel Jackie Anderson feud from Bassett, Virginia.
Oh Lord, that's a long time ago.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Like 30
with the
years ago
mysterious
almost.
cowboy.
Yeah, that match drew a lot of people to the high school for season's beatings that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're like 3 or 4 episodes in. On the network, it's a couple of weeks behind, because they're actually pitching it to TV stations in New York and Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So,
Well, good luck. I hope they get them on. It's expensive to put stuff on TV though now. That's for
yeah, I
sure.
know. It's
Let's
pretty interesting. I think it's neat that the guy, I can't remember his name. I apologize, but he's the guy that's hosting this does a pretty good job. I mean, he does it almost like he stands and got him a nice backdrop, stands up there and they're coming to, if I'm not mistaken, they're coming to film at the anniversary show in 2 weeks for the
all right.
episodes.
Yeah, so the anniversary
Or
show,
3 weeks.
yeah, coming up in a few weeks. Let me see if I can find that poster real quick. We'll put that up on the screen just to show everybody the schedule for the rest of the year for live wrestling. Yes.
Yeah,
Did you make it home from Ivanhoe last night, Reagan, without killing any animals?
I did not kill one animal. I saw one, and then I said, "Don't come out here! Don't come out here! Don't come out here!" And it just stayed on the side of the road. Thank goodness. I don't know. Coming down that mountain in the dark, though, whoo!
Yeah, you just can't think about it.
That is rough. Those curves are sharp.
Yeah. You know what I do? I drop it down in second gear and let everybody be pissed off at me and drive around me. I come down it slow. I don't care what anybody says.
It was flying by me. It was terrible.
Anybody that knows, we're talking about Fancy Gap Mountain, I-77. It's, always a fun time, enjoyed by locals. There you see the schedule for the rest of the year.
Advisory up yesterday too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes it a lot more fun. So, but anyway, there you go. Season 33, we're calling it. And next up is March 1st and 2nd. Yes, folks, that's Saturday and Sunday for the AIWF 33rd anniversary show. And we'll have wrestlers coming in from all over the country, won't we, Rick Diesel, for that big event?
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're coming in from out of the country this year, too. I know we got them coming in from Canada. And Darren had been getting music together, and he told me somebody was coming from somewhere, like from South America or something. I can't remember.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, I'd love to know what country. I'd like to know what country. There's a lot of countries in South America.
Yeah. I don't know if he.
I also noticed that they, man, I'm looking for it, that they have set the match with Jackson Sane and, oh my God.
Bloodsaw.
Thank you. I was like, something Saw, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, Bloodsaw. He was there last year.
He was.
Yeah.
Yes, for the world TV title.
Oh boy, Bloodsaw. I've seen that. Boy, that guy's got a presence on the internet indies. That's for sure. Internet wrestling community knows who that guy is, especially in the Northeast.
Yeah.
So good to have Bloodsaw's coming down. That's awesome. I'd love, to see him against Jackson Sane. That Jezebeth walking around with the pets is not going to bother a guy like Bloodsaw. Not at all. It's not going to phase him at all. So that'll be very interesting. But take a look at it, folks. I mean, more shows, more wrestling this year. We're partnering with ICW a lot up at the Ivanhoe Fire Department this year. So you can see pretty much it's one show in Mount Airy, one in Ivanhoe, and it goes back and forth for the most part. But as you can see,
don't say in a hoe.
Huh?
I said, don't make the mistake of saying in a hoe instead of Ivanhoe.
Oh, no. Ivanhoe. In a hoe.
Like J.D. Anderson's T-shirt last night. Did you get a look at that? The T-shirt you wore to the ring?
I did.
Said Ivanhoe's.
With an apostrophe S.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they own him. So he is Ivanhoe's.
Ivanhoe's. I know what he was going for there. At least I think
I do too. And I'm the only one. We're the only ones that noticed that grammatical error.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering what you do for a living, you would notice that. So anyway, I mean, it's good to see wrestling starting off, getting an early start this year. It's March 1st, and we got 3 weeks before the anniversary show, but it'll be here before we know it. And so also we want to give a big shout out to Rose Tyson, whose amateur wrestling career is going quite well.
She made it to regionals.
Yeah,
she didn't do as good as she wanted in regionals, but she made it first year, and everybody's really proud of her.
Yes,
yeah.
I've said it before. It's very refreshing to see somebody that's interested in the wrestling business that actually does amateur wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I've talked about how many times do you see somebody get up in the ring to train that has the heaviest thing they've ever picked up is their dick to take a piss, and they have no athletic background whatsoever. There's exceptions to that rule. There are, but like I was talking to Chris Severn the last show I was at, And he was like, no, I never played any organized sports. And I couldn't believe it because he was such a good wrestler, in his day. But, it's just, it's really refreshing to see. And so, honor roll girl, her mom's been bragging a lot about her online as well. She should. And so, yeah, I'm happy for her. I've known that girl since before she was born, and I'm just as happy. If I would have been in town yesterday, I would have went over there at that school in Kannapolis and watched her in person. But I kind of was on the fence about that. Like, if I just show up, is that going to like weird her out a little bit, and make her nervous? So I'll have to talk to her in person. But she's going to graduate from high school this year, right?
I think she can, but I'm not sure if she's going to.
I think that I heard when I was talking to her last night, that she was going to go one more year, probably wrestle. Because I mean, if she's that good and does one more year, I mean, she might get collegiate scholarships for it. So
that would
if you're
be
that
great.
good that fast, that's talent.
And keep in mind, guys, she is not at a high school that has enough girls participating in wrestling to have a separate girls program. She has to, or does she wrestle against the boys?
There's 8 of them.
Oh, it's 8 of them?
Yeah, there's 6 or 8 of them.
But she has had to wrestle. She has had to have matches against boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know it's not a big, but I don't know if it's the same. It's about 6 or so. So, but good for Mount Airy High School to have a girls team.
Yeah, man. The fact that there are enough girls interested that they have a team, and more good news today, just found out that they were bragging on the Super Bowl pregame that Louisiana has approved women's flag football as a high school varsity sport. And oh man, it does my heart good, man. Because here in the South, we're all football crazy for the most, except Brian and Reagan and Rick Diesel. But I'm the stereotypical nuts about football. And I have always hated, because we don't want to see girls, get busted sternums and broken collarbones and stuff like that. I mean, if they want to, more power to them, but they're doing flag football as a varsity sport for women. And I love that because football is so much fun. It's like the best outdoor game next to lawn darts that you can play. And they don't make, and you have to order lawn darts from a foreign country now. I don't think you can.
Oh, that's right. They're illegal here.
Well, they're supposed to be, but I still see, you go on Amazon and type in lawn darts, they'll come up, I think. But yeah, so just real proud of Rose Tyson. That does my heart good. And who knows, maybe North Carolina, I don't know if it's legal here or not yet, but maybe they can pass a law here and get girls flag football going as a varsity sport. Because I'm telling you, ladies, you'd like football a lot better if you had experience playing it when you were a kid. I tell you, I really think you would. But anyway, enough about that. Let's see. Rick Diesel stepped away. Oh Lord.
Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
What y'all think of that?
It's a pretty good logo. Needs some.
I like it.
Needs some shadow on the letters, but other than that, it looks great.
Matt says it needs shadow on the letters.
It's a black background though, so I don't know how he's going to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's a pretty good design.
Trista designed that herself.
Wow.
Yeah, only thing you need is something to make the letters look like they're popping off the t-shirt. You know what I mean? You know how letters look on a t-shirt? They usually have a shadow around them.
Yeah, kind of give it some depth.
Yeah, like a 3D effect. But
okay, right.
how you do that, I don't know. I can't.
I'll be back.
Okay, so that's what he wanted. Okay, well let's read some ads. Algorithm, go ahead, roll some commercials, and I'll read these ads. Let's see. So speaking of mom, here's T's Creations. They've been with us a while now. Great custom made t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, just about anything. I mean, they got it. Just call them, reach out to them online. They're at Tees Creations. I still got the fall stuff up here. I really need to change the slide. But guys, I've been going through a lot lately in my personal life, so just bear with me. TeesCreations22.com. Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook and TikTok. Tees Creations. Yes, TikTok is still around and has survived. It's like Gloria Gaynor. I will survive. Shopify as well. Please visit her on Shopify because my understanding to open up a Shopify is not cheap. So check her out. She can handle all your design needs for apparel. They offer tumblers. They got it all, man. They even sell sets of sunflower pins like you see right here. It's just incredible. If you want it, they can get it for you. Big D's Grill is a food truck that operates out of Mount Airy, much like T's Treats, except they specialize in burgers, Philly cheesesteaks, chicken wings, hot dogs. They got mini donuts and snow cones. They got like 5, 6 different flavors of mini donuts. It's absolutely incredible. So you definitely want to check them out. That's Big D's Grill. All right. So did anybody get to watch the Royal Rumble last weekend?
I did.
What did you think?
I think the women's was better. I think the women's was better.
All right, let me give you some structure. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start with the women's Royal Rumble.
I think the women's Royal Rumble was good. We got to see the debut of Jordan Grace, and she picked up Piper Nevin.
Fact check. She was in the Royal Rumble last year.
Did she pick her up? But no, she debuted as a WWE wrestler.
Yeah, but she's in NXT.
I don't know where she's at, but that's still WWE.
Yeah.
She's under contract now for WWE.
Okay.
And she picked up Piper Nevin and like slammed her and made it look like she was picking up a feather. She's strong. I can't wait to see what she does in it. I think me, along with most of the wrestling community, are a little bummed by the winner. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the internet community about Charlotte Flair. I think she's not as good as they present her to be. I don't think she's as interested. I think they've got now. This is why they have a group of women now who are just great. And just to have somebody come in off an injury first thing and win is a little disappointing. I think, some of those NXT girls, I mean, they tore the house down in that match. So,
but then again, I think they did it on purpose. I think they wanted to come in and give her a lot of heat, and that heat came from her walking right back in and winning, and it made everybody mad. And whoever she goes up against, they're going to be cheering for.
Yep,
they're notorious for that, though, right?
Yeah,
just bringing somebody back in and just shooting them right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, did you see the reaction to her on Raw the night after? I mean, it seems to have worked because they booed her out of the building, man. Yeah. And she got a lot. She got a lot of the same on SmackDown Friday too. So
I was excited to see Alexis. I can't say it. Alexis Bliss come back.
Yeah.
Looks great. I wish she had lasted longer. But I think I was more entertained by that match than I was the men's. So,
Alexa Bliss is back after having a baby. You cannot tell it, but she suffered an injury and then got pregnant. Cornette said it was because she couldn't get away. And so she had a baby. She had a baby, and I was like, when she walked back out there, I was like, wow, okay, she's just as tiny as ever. So, and she came out with the doll. And so on Friday night on SmackDown, I don't know if you saw her match, but the screen started flickering like the Wyatt Six is watching her. So I imagine Bo Dallas is going to come into her life sometime in the next week or two. So I like the women's match. It kept my nephew and his girlfriend interested, and they are not wrestling fans. Now my wife watches it with me just so we can talk about it. And she hates me, Chin, for some reason. But she enjoyed it. So that was good. Let's see. Next matchup was the 2 out of 3 falls for the tag team title, Gargano and his partner against Motor City Machine Guns. I was a little disappointed in this one because it was 2 out of 3 falls. I figured it would go 30 minutes because it was on the Royal Rumble, and I thought it would go 30 minutes. And I didn't like the way it ended, but if you would have had a solid finish, you couldn't do anything later with them. So I kind of see why they did that, but
I am the complete opposite because I absolutely hate 2 out of 3 falls. Like, I don't like them. I think they take too long. I don't like to sit through 30 minutes of it. So I really liked it because I felt like it was really fast paced. I like the Motor City Machine Guns. I've liked them for years. All the way back to TNA days, like way back. I like Ciampa. I can't say his name. This Ciampa, right? Is the last
Tommaso
name.
Ciampa. Yeah.
Thank you. His name is so hard for me to say. Like, I like them too. I think they work well together. I think they're really good. I liked that match, but I'm also coming from the angle of these are 2 tag teams that I like a lot, and I loved seeing the Motor City Machine Guns on the Rumble. Does that make sense? Like, I like that they have finally got to a place where they are celebrated. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've worked really hard. They've been in business a really long time. And I'm just glad to see them there. So I like the match. And like I said, I'm the complete opposite. I don't like long matches like that. So
yeah. Yeah. Here's and I gotta back up and like say, when I say I like long matches, when they would do those gauntlet matches on SmackDown that would take up the whole show like 10-15 years ago, I would sit there and sip my cocktail and just enjoy that. And I'd be all on Twitter, man. Hey, that was a great gauntlet match. I hope you do it again in a few weeks. And, and I'm sure everybody else on the internet was like, oh my God, they're doing another gauntlet match. Oh no, it's going to last the whole program. But, so what'd you think, Rick Diesel? Did you see it?
The only thing I watched was the men's rumble. Okay. So I'm just be quiet till you get there.
All right, we'll get there. There's only 4 matches on the card. Next up was Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And
I did see the end of that.
I'm glad Kevin Owens is still with us and is still walking.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That was a brutal fucking match. There's no way around it.
That ending, it folded him over. Like, he looked dead. Like, you're right. I don't know how he came back and like just jumped right up to the next day. You know what I mean? Not jumped right up then, but like was able to get himself together and to show up the next day. And it's just,
yeah, I don't see how he got up the next morning.
Well, did you notice he like busted his sorry, I'm not gonna try to swear as much. Hey, busted his eye like right here. And like when he came on Raw Monday night, his eye was like black and looked like it was a lot. I mean, it started to swell before the end of the match, but he caught it on the corner of the table, is what Cornette said. I didn't see it when it happened. I just saw when he came up bloody. It was like, wow, okay. So those 2 put it all on the line. But again, when I watch WWE and they do that Daredevil stuff, I'm not as concerned with their safety as I am when I see it on AEW, because I know that they've got a lot more experience and know-how there. And I
think it depends on who it is to me.
Yeah, I mean, he knew exactly. I mean, they knew exactly how to do that. I mean, to minimize death.
Yeah, minimize death. Yeah.
So, and I agree, because I hate that AEW gets so much flack and so much bad publicity, because I'd love to see, I'd love to see them do good.
And I think it's one person in AEW that is the one who does the stuff that looks extremely dangerous. And that's Darby Allin, and he's not there right now.
When I compare the two, WWE is like to me, it's like a well-protected movie set, and AEW is just like a bunch of kids with a camcorder out here jumping off of buildings.
Yeah. That's
You
exactly
know
what
what I'm saying?
No.
Tony
No,
Khan
I'm
does
talking
not.
about safety wise. Safety wise, I
I
don't think
think
that
it
they
depends.
take the
Like I said,
precautions that they should.
it depends on who's doing it. Like if you have Swerve Strickland doing it, the he has the ability and he has the experience to pull it off.
And isn't he
But
the
you
one
have
that
like
took a
the old guy,
syringe to the mouth?
huh?
Isn't he the one that took a syringe to the mouth?
Yeah, but I mean, that was stupid, but I don't think it was
I'm sure he
dangerous.
held a lighter under it before.
Oh yeah, yeah, because I mean, and
but I will say though, AEW has not been doing that type of stuff. Like they've been doing hardcore and doing like all not awful like that, but like they've been really going at it. But like I feel like their hardcore type stuff is not like it looked in that match. But I am thoroughly entertained right now by AEW.
Well,
I
my whole thing is like,
keep in mind, fans, Reagan has gone on record and says she loves bad wrestling. So just use that filter.
No, but I would say I love it because it's so bad.
I think AEW has a lot of very talented guys.
Yes.
I think what they need is proper direction from somebody who knows how to take them in the direction they need to be, because those guys are used to just, they'll do what they're told because they get the paycheck. If the guy writing the check is an idiot, then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will say right now, the stories that they're telling right now are being well done. Tony Storm is doing the best work of any woman wrestler I've ever seen in my entire life.
I've heard that. And I'm glad because they need that. Business needs that.
The Swerve Strickland Ricochet stuff is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Well, the business needs them to step up and get their act together.
Ricochet's doing the best work of his life. He is such a good heel. God almighty. Him and Swerve Strickland, they are. I mean, and like everybody on the internet wants to show the one or two flubbed things, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
They also keep saying nobody's cheering, and it's because maybe it's 1 second of no. I mean, they were chanting Ricochet's name during the last match, like saying a mean thing, But the whole crowd was doing it, and they're looking so much better in these smaller venues.
Yep.
So,
all right, let's bring it back. We go ahead, Reagan, make one last point, but we were talking about the Royal Rumble, and I got to get us back on track.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's it. You can go back to the Rumble. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So
we got there with the dangerous stuff. So
yeah, and Cornette was commenting. I love listening because he was commenting like it's the same thing. Rick Diesel was saying, talking about. I just hope somebody doesn't end up, dead one of these days from one of these matches, but it doesn't feel as unsafe over there. Let's see, Royal Rumble, men's Royal Rumble started out very unique with Rey Mysterio and the new sensation Penta. And I'll say this, Penta is getting better every week. They are slowly but surely beating the AEW out of him and turning him into what he's going to be. I like his skills and abilities are really starting to shine now because he's got somebody there to say, hey, don't do this. You do this good, so do this instead of this. And he's got, there's not as much guidance in AEW. And every match,
maybe in 50 years, if they're still around, there will be.
Oh yeah, well, because Tony Khan will be dead by then. I mean, all that coke that goes up his nose, allegedly.
I read that he's living on his daddy's $1 billion yacht right now.
Oh yeah. Lord.
Well, I mean, Miami, Florida. I don't know about Jacksonville, but have you seen the Miami Dolphins head coach when he first went down there? He's all clean cut and wearing suits, and now his hair's all long and scraggly, his beard's all messed up.
That beach life, man.
Yeah, they were joking on the football game a few weeks ago. Yeah, look at that Miami lifestyle's done to him. Yeah, look what it's done to him and their record. So, but anyway, but no, let's see, the men's Royal Rumble, pretty good. The whole bit with Seth Rollins and CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Did you see Seth Rollins when he done that left-footed curb stomp? ended up landing on Roman's head with both feet and then stepping on his hand. And then when he did he did another curb stomp on the stairs to Roman, and Roman's eye right along. It's kind of the same place as Owens, but on his it might have been the same side. But when Paul Heyman was taking him back, like you could see the mouths coming up, and I mean, hey, they were throwing haymakers in that match. That's all I can say. It was a rough and rowdy brawl.
My issue with the Royal Rumble is the same issue I have with it every year. Once you get about 4 guys in there, and they're in there, and it's getting down to the last few seconds, they all tie up in a corner, and then the guy who's coming out next, they do this through the whole Rumble. Everybody just sort of slows down and does nothing, and one guy runs in and does something to everybody, and just decimates the entire ring. And then looks at the camera and goes, ah!
Yeah.
And it's everybody. They just come in and they just throw everybody around and scream at the camera. And then they just start back up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ah.
Well, this is the thing I miss about the Rumble. I miss those days when there were like honest to God surprises. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is not, I'm just giving an example of like Tatanka or Jim. I know they're too old now, but I'm saying that was the fun thing about a Rumble back in the day. You just really had no idea who might come.
Everybody used to watch it for the surprises.
And I don't feel like they do that now because they have so many wrestlers.
Yeah, there's no room for them.
But what did y'all think about the ticker at the bottom of the screen that looked like because there's a guy there from ESPN that would show you how many people had entered, how many people had eliminated, who eliminated who, scrolling across the screen the whole time. I mean, so much.
I thought that brought a little more sportsy look to it.
Yeah, that's what I like.
I like that.
Just me visually, I can't keep up with the ticker. Like, I can't. But I did like to know how many people have been eliminated and how many people are left. I did like that, but I can't keep up with a scrolling thing at the bottom. Just me personally, just me.
Right.
But
well, I mean, I get that. Like if I'm watching a cable news channel, which I try to not do, because those things are like watching Honey Boo Boo Child. They just kill your brain cells. I either have to read the scroll at the bottom or watch what's on. I can't do both. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so yeah, I do like how WWE now is. When I was watching SmackDown last night, like every 15 minutes or so, a graphic would pop up on the lower left part of the screen and give you a recap of what had happened, just in case you were coming in late. Because, hey, they know it's a 3-hour program and not many mortal human beings can watch that much wrestling every week. So they're trying to make it work. And so, but yeah, so the Royal Rumble ended up winning Jey Uso, and that surprised me. I was like, I would have bet you dollars to donuts a minute before that thing ended that Cena would win it.
I agree. I even said when I was like, man, he's going to come in here and win that. And I just,
well, he got a late draw. It was still believable that he was still fresh enough to do it. And John's still in good shape. So, I mean, he did a semi-nude scene in the first season of Peacemaker. So, I mean,
no, he's in good shape. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just, I'm not, I don't know. I don't like John Cena. Like, I will say last year in WrestleMania when he came out, I did mark out. But in general, I don't like John Cena. I don't like watching John Cena.
Well, you should try out Peacemaker. You might like him more after that.
No, I like him acting. I loved him in Fast and Furious. Oh, okay. Like, I need to watch Peacemaker because I've heard it's so good. But like I've seen him act and he's a really good actor and stuff. So
yeah, he's good in Peacemaker, but I gotta tell you, the guy who plays his partner in Peacemaker, that motherfucker steals the show. He is so hilarious. But they
Oh yeah,
all,
a little mousy dude.
yeah, yeah, and he doesn't even know his identity from until near the end of the show. Cena didn't even know that guy was from Great Britain. The actor was from Great Britain until the near the end of filming because some of the people that were showrunners along with John thought it'd be a fun rib to have the guy never speak in his natural British accent. So he always spoke to John even out of character in an American accent. And then the last day of filming, walked up to him and started talking in his natural British accent. They said just seen his jaw hit the ground and the color came out of his face, and he was like, "What the fuck has been going on?" So that's a pretty good rib to keep that going for, no telling how many months it took them to shoot that first season. So,
Right. It's like when you hear Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead, like actually talk and stuff. So
crazy. Those actors are amazing. So let's see here. I think I got some
people
more.
were unhappy with that too, but for some reason the internet does not like Jay Uso, but everybody in the crowd likes Jay Uso.
Yeah,
So
he
I
comes
don't
out at the
know.
beginning of the show and don't talk for the first 20 minutes. It's his entrance. I mean, he's over, man. They
Yeah,
love
no,
him.
he's so over. And I just, I don't understand people, but whatever.
Oh, don't pay attention to the internet, except our show and
Yeah.
except our show, incredible podcasts. Not Dave Meltzer so much. All right, branch management. Our friends at Branch Management, man, it's warming back up. I mean, it's going to get cold again. We're still not out of the woods yet with winter, but you need to start thinking about what you're going to get going for spring. If you need a lawn care service, pressure washing done, general contracting, gutter cleaning, any type of landscaping service, give them a call at 336-648-2487. And look at that right there on your screen, folks. Free estimates. And who don't like something that's free? I do. I'm extremely tight. And I know another person on this call that's extremely tight. Free estimates are awesome. 336-648-2487. They can do rock work for you probably too. Just give them a call, and they can help you out with anything that you aren't able to take care of around your property in the Mount Airy, Surrey County area this year. Tees Treats, the most delicious concessions in wrestling. Prove me wrong. They are a locally owned food truck based in Mount Airy. All kinds of great stuff. Rick Diesel, any new inventions coming out soon or anywhere? Where's the food truck going to be this week?
Nowhere this week. We're in maintenance mode right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got 4 trailers we're working on right now, so trying to get them all ready for spring. Now, Big D's Grill did go out last week.
Okay.
Last Friday did good with King, North Carolina, and did really good. But now Tees Treats, they are lining up the festivals, buddy.
Yeah,
It'll be a big year for them and the festival and big event calendar.
I wish y'all could come down in September and do the Cabarrus County Fair. I think you'd be swimming in cash because there's 2 types of people that go to that fair: kids to go on the rides, and then the rest of us old folks that just go there to eat. And we come hungry and we come with cash. So, I mean, let's see. So, if you want more information about Tees Treats, you can check them out on Facebook at Tees Treats, or you can just give them a call 336-755-8204, and they're going to be all over the place. You heard Rick Diesel say it right there. I mean, 4 trucks this year. Goodness sakes, they're going to be everywhere. So you'll probably bump into them and not even try to. But if you want to find out where they're at, give them a call. They'll tell you because they want you to come out and see them and spend some money. There's the copy. There we go with our friends at with our friends at Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains. They are the gaming store that we've been talking about lately, and their newest sponsor. And look at that. They've got the old time looking arcade cabinets that you can play. They got table space for D&D, Magic the Gathering. They have console games as well, like the old Nintendo and Sega. And it says here they got 25 arcade cabinets. So, and I'm sure some of those have multiple games in them. Like if you look over here, left of your screen, see Marvel, Capcom, Marvel superheroes, then X-Men, then the Punisher. That's a fun game, the Punisher. I remember that. And there's Dragon's Lair right there. Boy, that's an old quarter muncher. That's a game that'll piss you off real quick, boy. Dragon's Lair, because it's a laser disc game. And you have to, the only way to win is just react the correct way, and you don't have any guidance from the game unless you've got a home version of it. That will help you know which way to move. And so, yeah, it's a rough one. I'm seeing those things chew up a bunch of quarters back in the early 80s when I was little. There you go. There's a wide shot of the store. They've got stuff to eat there too. So if you want to get a game going or join a tournament, best thing you can do is give them a call at 434-317-0121. You can also shoot them an email at secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Now don't spell out second. It's the abbreviation, the number 2 and ND. Secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. And, well, you're probably thinking, well, where in the hell is this place? You ain't told us that yet, Matt. Well, they're in Evington, Virginia on 18184 Leesville Road. That's 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia, in the Lynchburg area. Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. So if that's your comic store, buddy. That's your adventure store, video game store, Magic the Gathering store, basically your one-stop nerd shop for the Lynchburg area. Secondhand Heroes and home for wayward villains. All right, guys.
I was gonna say Trista ran old school concessions last night, and they were still delicious. They were still the best concessions you can ever get, and it was just hot dogs and nachos.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a little too cold up there still just a little too cold to open up that roll-up door and pull that food truck up there. So we used the kitchen inside.
And she's doing those Facebook Lives now, too, with T's Creations.
Okay.
Yeah, she's done.
Oh, yeah.
How many days has she done? 2 or 3?
I think she's done 2 or 3 now. They're doing pretty good. And she's getting ready to start incorporating the new My Gimmick Table site, too.
My Gimmick Table. Tell us
yeah,
about
you hadn't
that.
heard about that, Matt. I got to get you up on this. It's called My Gimmick Table. I think .com. I'm not sure, but it's for wrestlers to sell their T-shirts on.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like a consignment thing where My Gimmick Table does the work, does all supply. The guys just let us use their design. We sell it, and they make money off of it. We send them their cut. We do the shipping, or My Gimmick Table does the makes the shirts, ship the shirts, and sends the wrestlers their cut. I should have sent you the screenshot from that. But I mean, right now there's like Buddy Flowers is on there, Jackson Sane's on there, Ty Tyson's on there.
That's great.
There's a company, there's a promotion out of South Carolina that's got some shirts on there now.
Damon Bryce,
he's on there. Yeah. So
that's great.
Yeah,
man.
You need to look. I keep forgetting to tell you about that, Max. I'm so busy, but it's called My Gimmick Table.
That's all right. You hadn't sent me any content in a couple of weeks either, so
you got to remind me. You got to stay on me about that.
That's all right.
Well, plus I just got my main computer back last week, and that's all the content was.
Yes.
So it's back now. So
okay, so you're getting to see folks a little out of there. Some of our behind the scenes frustration that's been going on lately. But I'll tell you this: that is a good thing for independent wrestlers. See folks, because when you come to one of our shows, you pay like $7 or $8 to get in, sit on the floor, 5 or 6 to sit in the bleachers, right? And so to say that independent wrestlers breaking into the business don't make a whole lot of money, if you do the math in your head, would make a lot of sense. But you can help them out by buying those T-shirts. Buying that. That's why when you see Jack and Clara come to our show, they've invested so much in merchandise.
Yes,
because that's really how they can make some money. Because it's usually not a lot at the gate. It's some independents it's better. because they charge 15, 20, 25, $30 to get into their shows. But if you can't
But
afford that,
the thing about it is too, is it kind of averages out because not everybody can afford a $20 ticket.
That's right.
I mean, you know, so I've seen shows that charge $20 a ticket and there'll be, you know, 30 people in the crowd.
Yeah.
But I'd seen shows that charges $10 a ticket have 100 people in the crowd. So you tell me, I mean, really, which one is better?
And Brian and Reagan, Rick Diesel, y'all all wrestled. Is it easier to wrestle in front of a big crowd or a small crowd?
Yeah, that's no comparison.
Much easier.
It's yeah, because I mean, there have been times in the past that there are just a handful of people, and it can be rough. It can be real rough. That silence is deafening sometimes, and yeah, it's so much better. And like, you know, I feel like it makes wrestling more accessible to, especially for indie guys. If you have a lower ticket price point, you're more willing to go to a show that doesn't have a whole bunch of names on it. Like, so you're like, hey, I want to go see wrestling. Well, how much is tickets? 5 for the bleachers, 10 for the, and they're like, hey, that's pretty good. And then they'll go and they'll see their local indie guys, and you'll start getting a following. So I think, you know, price point is important on the indies.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, so we're gonna get, speaking of price points, maybe we'll have one for them in the next week or two about the anniversary show, and hopefully we can get Matt Classic on here as we get closer. I know he's working diligently to put that card together.
Are you talking about ticket prices for the anniversary show? If I'm not mistaken, I think they're $10 for the floor and $5 for the bleachers.
Well, you can't beat that.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Wow.
And you can get 2-day ticket prices, and I think they knock $1 or $2 off. Okay. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Anniversary show's coming up. Hopefully we can get Matt Classic on here to run down the card after he gets it put together. But you got to understand, it's not like when we do it, you know, we can basically finish a show on a Saturday night and have the card for the next one put together in a couple of days. He's having to manage people from, you know, coming from all different countries and all that kind of stuff. So it's
last I heard, it's like 11 or 12 matches on each day. So
oh Lord. Well, you're gonna get your money's worth then, folks. You know, you're gonna really get a lot of bang for that buck. Yeah, so come on up and join us and have some stuff off of T's Treats, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll see what happens. And I think we covered about all the news. Oh, Janelle Grant updated her lawsuit against McMahon and put some more names in there and some other surly details that I really don't want to read, but I would encourage you to go out of your way. Have you guys heard about that?
I have, because, you know, Michael Hayes had taken some time off here recently, you know, and everybody was gossiping and stuff, but here it comes. There's his name.
Yeah.
And then the big man, Brock Lesnar. So, you know, it's just
an ugly mess.
It is ugly. It's ugly. And, but I'm glad she's not like pulling back. You know, I think it's good to get this out there so it doesn't happen anymore. Because I don't think it happens. It probably doesn't happen as much now as it did before. But if you put it out there, then you're not going to have people think they can get away with it at any point now. So, you know, good for her for being.
Y'all consider Vince McMahon one of the boys or a money mark?
One of the boys.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because like he don't strike me as a money mark, because he did business on what he thought was best for the bottom line of the company, not you know, fantasy book. He didn't even watch anybody else.
Well, when I say one of the boys, I'm talking about one of the boys from the locker room.
I
think he's more so than Tony Khan, because he's
definitely more than Tony Khan. But I don't think I would put Vince McMahon in the category as one of the boys, because he would never went in there and hung out with him. He had matches, but he wasn't a wrestler. One of the boys is a wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Why did you ask me that?
Managers. I don't consider somebody who wasn't brought up as a wrestler one of the boys. I consider him just a money mark.
Well, explain to me then why did you pitch me a multiple choice question in which both answers were wrong? Because if I'd have said he was a money mark, would you have agreed with that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How so? Because it seemed like he was just
because
screwed.
A money mark wasn't brought in, trained as a wrestler, brought up as a wrestler, and then started a promotion.
Mm-hmm.
A money mark is somebody who just comes in, throws money at it, and starts a wrestling promotion, like Tony Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel like what has happened with Vince McMahon is, if you'll sit and think about it, and the point I was trying to get to is Vince McMahon's not one of the boys, is why all the boys turned on him. You know, I don't think Vince McMahon ever got respect in this business that he didn't buy.
That's probably true, because most people always talk about him, oh man, I'm set for life thanks to Vince. I love that man.
I think I would not consider it I don't consider him a money mark. I don't really consider him part of the boys in a big way. He still had a clique going with boys, with wrestlers, Undertaker, people like that. They were real close.
He had his inner circle.
He was somebody that was brought up in the business. It's not like he wasn't brought up in the wrestling business. I see him more, I would see him more of a businessman than even a promoter.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds weird too, but I felt like he tried to run WWE like a business.
I think he did. I mean,
yeah, I know I'm saying he did.
Well, he said it himself. I don't want to call it wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't want to call my guys wrestlers. I want to call them superstars.
Mm-hmm.
So by definition, he didn't care about wrestling. He cared about making a product that would sell. And if that meant changing it completely, that's what he would do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is what he did. In the 80s, he made his wrestling show pretty much a Saturday morning cartoon with big characters.
He actually did make a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah,
right.
He made his wrestling show, a cartoon show too.
I would say the only money mark-esque thing that you could say about him is he had a certain idea of what a wrestler should look like.
Well,
he wanted big, muscular guys, and that's the only thing I would say would have any kind of. And I'm pushing that it would be a mark thing. I'm pushing that, but he did definitely have a vision of what the men should look like that he had on his show.
Yeah, even when smaller guys started becoming more popular, he was just like, no, that's not what a wrestler looks like, even though it was making money.
I guess the point that I missed that I was trying to make was the fact that let's take Vince McMahon and this scandal that he's had. It's like when the reason I say all the respect he ever had he bought is because now nobody has any fear whatsoever just throwing him under the bus. It's like they don't care about him no more. And that's every money mark I've ever seen in this business. They don't have the respect of the boys other than their bank account. And once they're gone, nobody cares about them no more. It's like as bad of let's take like Bill Watts. Bill Watts, he'd come up as a wrestler, and he was a horrible promoter at times, but everybody still respected him even years after.
Mm-hmm.
Fritz von Erich. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He was basically an evil man at times, but the boys respected him because he'd done what they done.
Mm-hmm.
Vern Gagne, he, basically run the AWA in the Great League. I see that face, Reagan. Vern Gagne, but the boys respected Vern for Vern because he got in there and done what they done. Vince McMahon had his scandal, and now everybody's just like washing their hands of it. They'll erase him from history. We've all known money marks who's come in And I
Eddie
guess
Graham. Don't forget to
compared
mention
Vince to
Eddie
a
Graham.
regular. Do what, Matt?
Don't forget to mention Eddie Graham. That's the territory promoters, because he was a wrestler too, you know. And
Yes.
and
The boys never. There's nothing they could have done that would have took that respect away.
mm-hmm.
But maybe putting Vince in as a money mark may have been the wrong choice of words, because money marks come and go and are forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen dozens of them, even around here. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That Plano guy. Everybody remembers him. Had New Dimensions Wrestling.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I was
See
like,
how easy it was? See how easy
Plano?
that was to just forget that he ever existed?
Yeah.
Every money mark I have
That
ever
was
known.
his show was the very first show independent wrestling show I ever went to.
Right.
In Greensboro.
And that's the death of every money mark I've ever known in 30 plus years in this business, is they come in and make a big splash for a while, but when they're done, nobody ever talks about them again.
Yeah,
but now the wrestling promoters that were wrestlers that come in and started, the boys learned respect for them before they ever started running shows.
Well, but don't you think that Vince McMahon in that he was able to take wrestling national and in the territory system, which it would have ended anyway with cable TV. It was only a matter of time. But
if he hadn't done it, Crockett would have done it.
I know, and then we'd be all bitching about Crockett being the only game in town, you know.
Yeah.
But don't you think that like that puts him in a category outside either one of those? Because
you're probably right. Comparing him to a money mark is probably the wrong analogy, because Vince has done things, you know, that money marks. But I'm afraid that what's going to happen to Vince is he's going to be treated just like every other money mark, because the boys are already talking shit about him like they don't care.
Really?
I mean, you know.
Yeah, I hadn't heard any of that. So I mean, I don't know. I don't.
Well, I mean, you know, they're not defending him. They're like, oh yeah, well, you know, I suspected something, you know.
They're probably afraid of being canceled. You know how the internet is, man. If you don't have a certain opinion that seems to be held by, you know, certain groups, you can get canceled on the internet. Although I think that phase of American history, that part of America is going away right now. But you know, it's not going to be as easy to be canceled. But But the nature of this crime, allegedly, I mean, if he did take a shit on the poor girl's head, it's pretty hard to defend somebody like that. Like,
but you know what? He actually got to the point where he thought he could do that and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he was that powerful.
Yeah.
And that is a comparison to a lot of money marks I've known in this business. Is they get on that high horse and they get their ego gets so big that they think everybody just worships them and they'll never do anything wrong. But what they don't realize, just like Plano realized at some point, is that when them boys are done with you, they're done with you. If you ain't paying them, they don't give two shits if you wake up the next morning.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, because you have not earned their respect in the way that that's the way it's always been. If you don't earn their respect by getting in that ring and doing what they're doing, then when they're done with you, when the money stops coming, they don't give two shits if you're breathing tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, though, that's the world. I mean, if your boss dropped dead, if you had a boss at the bank and he was an SOB and he dropped dead, you're not gonna care.
No.
I mean,
no. And that's what wrestling has become. But that's what I'm saying. That was kind of my comparison. The wrestlers that start running shows have a different level of respect from the boys than just somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's like if a teller dropped dead, everybody in the bank will miss him. If the bank president drops dead, they'll give a shit.
Yeah, unless he's really an exceptional bank president that really knows how to treat the employees. And you don't see too much of that at a big corporate level.
Right.
Like, you know, I would compare it to like if you go into your local Wells Fargo branch, right, where you go do business all the time, like Rick Diesel said, and you deal with a certain teller most of the time. You know, when they work, you go in there and you actually wait on them to get open so you can visit them. They drop dead, you'd be sad. If the bank manager that gave you the loan on your home to get, that took a chance on you as a first time home buyer to give you a mortgage, drop dead, you'd be sad. But if the guy out in San Francisco that's the CEO of the company drops dead, you ain't gonna give a shit. You're gonna be
because
like,
they're not on your level.
no,
You don't have the same respect for them. And that's the way wrestling is with the money marks, because money marks come strolling in. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else does all the work and they take all the credit.
Yeah.
Well, it's always been.
Yeah. Kind of like politicians.
Yeah, exactly.
They show up when a new business comes to town like they actually did something. When I worked up at Star News, we had a business come into Martinsville one time, and I typed up a graphic that says, such and such plant opens today, 500 jobs. And then on the second bar, I typed, local politicians show up to take credit. And Charles walked in there and saw that, and he was like, do not put that on the screen. He was like, take that last line out, Matt. He said, I won't be able to get a word with another politician, an interview with anybody running for office locally ever again if you put that up there. But, it's the way it is.
That's the way it is. But anyway, I just wondering, if y'all thought that everybody was just going to turn on Vince because he didn't have the connection with the boys, if they just looked at him as the guy with the checkbook.
I think maybe some of your younger guys who didn't know that maybe worked there the last 3 or 4 years he was in charge, where he was doing crazy shit like getting them to cheer for a golden egg that was related to something in a movie The Rock was in on Netflix. Probably don't give a shit. But I think your guys like Stone Cold, Undertaker, people that Vince is directly responsible for making sure they had made a fortune that their grandkids will never have to work, will probably still call him and talk to him, but they ain't going to say nothing publicly.
I don't think Stone Cold. I think Stone Cold has come out and said stuff.
But also,
but Stone Cold is different as a person than he is on the screen if you follow any of his stuff. So,
but also a good way to look at this is Vince done his thing, made a lot of people a lot of money, made WWE what it is, and as soon as he got in trouble, the world turned on him. But then Triple H steps in, and all of a sudden, it's the greatest company in the world again.
It is because it's better.
His stockholders led a revolt.
But you know what? People turned on Bill Watts too once it became. Everybody had heard. Everybody knew that Bill Watts was a racist. But when it finally came out, like the big huge thing with Hank Aaron and all that stuff, people weren't too happy with Bill Watts after that. There were people that turned on him too. So, I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that he was brought up in the business. I think it has to do with the fact that some people don't put up with some bullshit that they shouldn't put up with. So, Bill Watts was hugely, Grizzly Smith, same thing. Once it started coming out how his daughter was born and with the things he did and all that stuff, they erased him from wrestling history.
Well, a lot of people didn't know about Grizzly Smith until after he was dead.
Yeah.
And so I want to be careful because his sons don't have exact reputation, don't have exactly a clean reputation themselves of being, all-time truth tellers. And, I don't know what's true and what ain't. He's not here to defend himself.
Well, I didn't say what I just said. People, the stories. People still erased him from wrestling history.
Well, but here's the thing: when he was still alive, he worked in WCW up into the mid '90s before he retired, as working backstage as an agent. So, and the rumors about him have been going on since the '70s.
But you also got to look at it this way: it was another generation that turned on him. His generation didn't.
That's right. Because people
him or Bill Watts,
that's right.
They knew. You can't tell me they didn't know.
But that's going back to what Matt said. You would have the newer guys turn on him versus the older guys.
Yeah, the next generation come in with a whole different set of morals and values, and they'll be like, I ain't putting up with this shit.
Yeah, well, Cornette has said at the time when they were working in Mid-South in '84 that they heard those rumors, but you heard so much crazy shit about people back then you just kind of let it go in one ear and out the other because you didn't really know what was bullshit and what wasn't. So you took everything at face value that it was bullshit, and then you find out years later and you're like, oh, well, that does explain when we were here. I saw that, but anyways, so all right, here's the next big question. And I got this from Cornette. This is coming off the same thing. If let's just say criminal charges are brought against McMahon, he's tried and convicted. Well, one of his best friends is sitting in the White House. Does he get pardoned?
Yeah.
No,
I don't doubt that.
I don't think he will.
You don't think so?
His wife is going to be in the damn
I don't
cabinet.
care. I don't care. Because I don't think he'll get pardoned because it's a moral crime. It's not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a crime, but pardon somebody for something like that, I think is over. I think it's beneath the office.
I think so too. And I will say this, and I know why Reagan's scoffing at that. And I want to be clear about this. He did pardon a bunch of those January 6th people a lot of them have been rearrested because they had warrants for other crimes already out on them. But Jinky and I believe that was a spite pardon because Biden, his last day in office,
I'll show you what I can do.
Yeah, he pardoned 2,500 people on his last day in office, and Trump was like, okay, fuck it, I'll pardon a bunch more. So that's what I'm thinking too, Rick Diesel. I got that feeling too that, like, yeah, Vince, you're my friend, but God almighty, man, you took a shit on her head. I didn't do that, and if I did, I sure as hell didn't tell anybody about it.
Exactly. And I think that, like I said, that pardoning somebody for that is beneath the office, no matter who's in there.
Yeah.
Because that's just a nasty damn moral crime that any human being should think another human being should be punished for.
Yeah, I would
get
hope
on somebody's head, man. Come on, no, you ain't getting away with that.
Well, the one thing about Trump is you never know what he's gonna fucking say or do.
That's true.
He is just, you never know.
You know who the most disappointed person was in his last presidency that didn't get pardoned?
Who's that?
Joe Exotic. He had his hair did. He got his clothes ready. He ordered him a limousine. And
yeah, exactly. It was beneath the office.
Yeah, he didn't pardon Joe Exotic. Yeah.
It was beneath the office. And Joe Exotic was a bigger celebrity than Vince McMahon at the time.
Yeah, he was. He was. Yeah, when you say it like that, it makes me wonder, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't even know if they'll be able to bring up the charges because Vince is going to throw so much money at this to try to make it go away that it may take.
I think he'll be dead before the verdict ever comes in.
See, that's what I'm thinking too. You remember Joe Paterno? Remember the controversy about Joe Paterno, the coach at Penn State a few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't doing the molesting, but he was turning a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
Basically, when his assistant coaches came and told him that another assistant coaches was molesting kids in the shower, he just basically said, I don't want to hear any of this shit. I'm trying to coach a football team, and walked off. And before they could bring him up on charges, he passed away. So
they did get that gymnastics doctor though.
Yeah, they got him. Well, they got Sandusky. They got the one who was doing the actual molesting. He's in prison now. So
it's just We'll just have to see. Well, I mean, and you know how long it takes to bring somebody to trial. I mean, it could be way past.
Oh yeah,
way past this presidency.
I'm going through the process right now. So
yeah, I mean, it could take. I mean, it could take 3 to 4 years to even bring it to trial.
Mm-hmm.
Because say they do charge him, they're going to put him and they're going to put it off for 6 months, and then his lawyer's going to keep pushing it off and pushing it off and putting it off, and then they're going to do motion after motion after motion. Like, people are like, it's not like Law and Order where they get them, arrest them, trial them, put them in trial, and put them in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've on YouTube and stuff, I watch like probable cause hearings all the time because it's so fun, and the judges I watch are funny and the people are crazy. And the probable cause things are like not Law and Order. Like everybody thinks that that's what it's like, and it's not. So,
No, the
but it
court
would probably
system does
take
not work like that.
years.
Yeah, the court system, but thank God for the court system, because through all I've been going through lately, I have realized how each courthouse in each city and each county holds our society together by just record keeping and just making sure everything is done on an even keel. Now, there's stuff that, bad stuff still happens, but man, if we didn't have our court system, this country would fall apart. I mean, it would not know whether to wind its ass or scratch its watch, and so if you work in the court system, you're appreciated. I know you might think your job's mundane and dull and nobody cares, but I do, because I've been dealing with it a lot lately. So, and those people work really freaking hard and are not appreciated. So anyway, all right. So, well, Vince McMahon, we'll see what happens with him coming up. Any other wrestling news that we need to cover this week? Nothing pressing to me. Raw and SmackDown just kind of progressing on, moving toward Elimination Chamber. They had a couple of good matches on SmackDown Friday. That triple threat with McIntyre, LA Knight, and who's the other one in that match? I can't remember. Boy, yeah, I seem to remember it being pretty good. But I don't remember. It must have not been that great if I can't remember the third.
If you can't remember the third person.
Well, I partied hard in my 20s, so I have memory issues too. It's not from getting hit in the head chairs, but being on all smoky rooms. But anyway, so what else is there to cover?
Nothing. I haven't even seen. I've only sent you like one dumb wrestling move lately. I haven't even seen that coming across my plate lately.
Oh yeah,
low time of year.
Let's take a look at that before we go.
That one's fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's really good. And I like whoever chopped that clip, because it was you have to watch it 3 or 4 times for your brain to process how stupid.
Yeah, you do.
And so let me see if I can get that thing full screen here. Yeah, let me get some sound. Hang on a second. I got to do the adjustments here. Oh, no. Other way. It just played automatic. I hadn't shared it yet, but it just played, and I saw it again, and that's why I'm grinning, because it's fucking hilarious.
I don't know if I sent you this one. I think I might. Maybe not. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do double see it. Sometimes I don't.
All right, so get ready for stupidity, guys. This is fun. All right, can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Watch this.
Poorly, yeah.
Barry on wide, Billy Stark! No! Barry on wide, Billy Stark! No! Barry on wide, Billy Stark!
No!
Barry on wide, Billy Stark! No!
Is that a girl? Yeah, I think it's a girl. I think it is a girl. But either way, she's fucked up.
Look at that. Ugh. It's so terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, she was lucky.
Was supposed to move.
Yeah. Oh, you don't think he was supposed to move?
Mind.
Yeah. So I mean, the good thing was she broke her fall with her head on the floor and her spine on the chair, so that slowed her down in plenty of time. But it's not the fall that hurts. You know the old expression, it ain't the fall that hurts you, it's that sudden stop.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Rick Diesel? That looked like a girl to me.
I couldn't tell because, as you can see, the sun is coming in and it's glaring off the screen. So, but I have seen that clip before. But
oh, really? Is it a few years old?
No, I've seen it here in the last couple of weeks or so.
I mean, it's just.
I just noticed the caption says "never trust anyone," so I think Brian was right. I just noticed that as many times as I've watched it and been like, God, that's so stupid. I have not noticed the caption. It says never trust anyone. Yeah, well, that guy's wrestling career is over if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to want to work with him. I was like,
no, I know I wouldn't.
Maria's in a wheelchair because of you asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she's not, by the way. I'm joking. but she looks pretty young, so she might have been able to just bounce up and be fine a little sore
Maybe.
next morning.
Maybe the adrenaline saved her.
I hope so, because he sure didn't, and those people at ringside did. All right, I guess we're gonna shut this thing down for this week. We'll
Well,
join
happy
you.
Super Bowl, Matt. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm aiming to. Have a few cocktails and hopefully
Are they still doing the puppy bowl?
Yeah, but it's on now.
Oh,
Yeah, they do. It's 3 hour show that leads up to the Super Bowl. They usually run it from 3 to 6. So go team fluff. But anyway, so we're gonna get out of here. Hope you have a great week, everybody. We'll be back here with you next week. Probably closer to our regular time. Are y'all wanting to move back to later in the afternoon next week or stay around 3 o'clock? What do y'all want to do?
I guess it depends on. Let us know how it does.
This on the Ringside Wrestling channel, it doesn't do much because it's a talk show. But where to look at is Facebook. If Rick Diesel could tell us how the numbers are, can you see how many people are watching?
We've been flipping and flopping between our usual numbers.
What are those?
Like, I don't know, 5 to 10 sometimes watching live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing breaking the bank. We're a real niche type.
No, our views usually come after anyhow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
I like doing it at this time because it also gives me time to decompress before I have to go back to work. And I get to
And
around.
with me, a lot of times I do office work on Sunday afternoons, payroll and stuff. So
Yeah, I got up early this morning. I did my shoot job stuff before I got on here. I had the whole day planned out. So, because I want to be able to just stare at the football.
but it's hit and miss. Best way just shoot it out there and see what happens.
All right, cool. Well, I'll hit y'all up some wrestling fans. You can let us know in the comments. Do y'all like it later in the evening, like 5:30, or like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock or so? Let us know what you think. With NASCAR season,
poll, Matt. No poll.
Do a poll. All right, I'll try to type one up. Yeah, so we'll reach out, we'll do a poll, let us know in the comments, whatever. Because me personally, with NASCAR season starting up, those races normally start at 3 o'clock. Ideally for me, I would love to do the show at 3 o'clock, DVR the NASCAR race, and after we're done, I can go watch it before I go to bed on Sunday night. I just have to stay the hell off social media. So, but anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget March 1st and 2nd. We're going to be live again at Veterans Park. Going to be back up at the park. I want y'all to join us. And all kinds of things. We'll have more announcements coming in the weeks to come. Be sure and check out Rick Diesel and Reagan's show over on AIWF Network. What's it called?
Mid Atlantic Breakdown.
Mid Atlantic Breakdown. Comes to you every...
I don't know. We tape it. We don't do it live. So as long as it's after the Mid Atlantic episode airs on Tuesday nights, we can do it anytime. So
we had to push it back a day from what we've been doing because I had the flu. So
all right.
Yeah, we ain't as good live as you are, so we just tape it. That way, if we have to start over, we can.
Well, I appreciate the compliment because sometimes I think I suck ass, and then I watch the video and back, and I'm like, nah, I still got it. All right, guys. I say too much though. Just I'm a product of my generation. Sorry. Anyway, we'll get out of here. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next time. And until then, so long for now.